Structure data type. A struct is a collection of variables that can be of different type under a single name. The essence of this struct is it allows us to group different types of data types together under one single name, instead of us to have different variables of different type on its own. We have variables of different types in one name. So for us to understand this, we will dive into the code. Before we can declare or create a structure variable or struct variables, we need to define its data type first. And to define its data type, we first of all type the keyword struct, and this is going to be outside of the main. Okay, outside of the main, not inside of the main, but outside, maybe at the top of the main. Then we use the keyword struct. Remember that when creating or declaring a struct in memory, no location of memory is assigned to this struct, okay, but it's when we start using it, which will be inside of the main, that is when it will start allocating memory to our struct data type. Okay, so then after typing the struct, we type a name for the struct. I'm going to use a name person. After that, we now create this block of code. Inside of it is where we are going to declare our different types of variables. Now I'm going to use char for the name, which is normal, and I'm going to assign it 30. It's going to have a size of 30. Now I'm going to use an int for my age, or the age, whoever age. Now I'm going to use a float for let me just say salary. Okay, then down here I'm going to terminate the struct declaration. So with this, let me bring this up. Okay, let me bring this, let me make it more nicer. Okay, so with this we have declared our struct person, but we haven't used it. So if we run this code, C doesn't allocate memory to this struct person right now. No, is when we start using it, initializing variables, that is when is going to allocate memory. You can see our data type struct has a char, has an integer, has a float inside. So instead of us to like have this separate, and this separate, we combine them under one name, person. So it's just like in form of a class. Okay, when declaring a class, you group a class by its functionalities. Okay, like a class of person, then you now say person must have a name, age, okay, gender, and whatever. So it's just a typical example of struct. After defining the struct data type, then we now go into our main program here, inside here. Then we now create our variables. Now for us to create our variables, we need to use the keyword struct, just like the way we used num. So num struct, sorry, person. So this keyword is used here, and this struct person is used here. Okay, so you should be aware of that. After that, we now give it maybe person 1 or something like that. Okay, person 1 just like this, you have created a variable called person1. So you use the keyword struct. Let's just call this our own user defined data type. Okay, our own user defined data type, because it is following the rules that you gave it in here. So with these rules, this person one is being created. So this person one will inherit this char, age, and salary with its data type respectively. Now for us to initialize this person one, we are going to call our person one dot, then the name. We give it this name. Let me give it my name. Okay, but while giving it this name, you should make sure that the character, when you count it, is equal or less than 30. So the first one is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 plus the white space. An empty space is called white space in programming. Okay, so let's come again. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. So this is 14. So let me add more names. This is my full name. Okay, 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21. So this is 21. Remember, in our char data type, in my previous video when we were discussing about char data type, this starts from 0. Okay, so when you're counting or when you're trying to get the first element, this C is going to be 0. Okay, but when you are counting like 1 2 3 4, then this C is going to be 1. Now we have declared a variable called person1, and we have assigned the name, a name for this person, which is this. Then next is we need to assign age to this person1, age. So age is going to be an integer. So which age am I going to use? How old am I? Okay, let me just put this, which is my age. Thank you. Then we now assign the salary. We have declared a name, which is char, that contain 30 elements, which are this. Okay, so age that contains a float, an integer, I mean to say, an age that contains an integer, which is this. Then a float which contains our salary. So let me put something like resembles a float, which is what we actually declared here. So I added .00. Okay, so let's make it a float. Then after doing this, the next thing for us to do is to actually print each of these out to the screen. Okay, in the course of this program, as I said before, that we are going to be writing a program, like an application that allows us to be dynamic. So I just put this statically, like I had coded it. Okay, but during the course of our learning, you will see that you'll be the one to enter this without entering it here. Okay, you are going to get the value dynamically. Okay, so let's go on and print these guys. Okay, so I have a name, I have age, and I have salary. So print f. So then this is going to hold our age, our person name. This is going to hold our name, and for us to do that, we are going to use the C. Okay, or the string. Let's use the string. Then after that, we create a new line. We want a new line each time our data is being printed out. Then after that, we now give it we give it a person, call the person name. We call the person name one dot name. Okay, so likewise our age, that is the same thing we are going to do. We pass in our percentage sign, then an integer, we give it an I, then we now break it, new line character, then we now put our person one dot age. Then after that we go to the float, which is the salary. We do the same. We put our percentage sign, then we put our F, then we now put our new line character, then put the second parameter, which is person one dot salary. Okay, so we are done creating the struct person. Then inside of this struct person, we have different types of data types. Okay, inside of it, remember the definition of struct, which is structure in full. Okay, so after declaring this, when this runs, this doesn't occupy memory. It starts occupying memory when we define or declare a variable for it. Okay, so we declare a variable for it, which is person one. Now we now assign this person one. Now this dot sign is an access modifier, like it allows us to have passage or access to these names or these variables that we declared here. Okay, we first of all gave it this struct type, which is person, and we now pass this variable name, which is, it can be anything, to it. This person one inherited all of this person, meaning that whenever we call this with a dot, it gives us access to all this. Okay, so it's just like parents giving birth to you. Okay, definitely you have inherited their whatever they have, okay, their name. Okay, why? Because they gave birth to you. So this person here gave birth to this person one, so this person one now has all the attributes of this person. So that is why we call this person one dot name. It will give us access to this name, then we can now use it to give it a value. The same thing with this person one age, gave us this dot sign here, gave us access to this age that we have here. Now let's save this our program, then let's run it. Let's run. Okay, whoa, let's see. Assignment to expression with array type, this equals sign. Let's go back to our program. Okay, I think we are going to use, this is not the right way to do this, to assign this guy here. For us to do this, let me go down here. We use the inbuilt function of str copy, then this, let me type it first before person one dot name, then we now give it our name, which is this chicken. Okay, this function here, string copy, as the name suggests, string copy does what it does is that carries any value that we have here in the second parameter, it assign it to this person. Oh, I made a mistake here. Okay, person one dot name, just as this person dot age 32 was assigned to it. So this function is an inbuilt function. Okay, this is not a user defined function, it's an inbuilt function, which is, you can also call it pre-defined function, that comes along with the C. So what this function does is it gets the second parameter, which is this, and then assign it to the first parameter, which is our name, person one dot name. Now you can't use it for int and you can't use it for this because it only copies strings. Okay, so str is a short form for strings, but let it be a sequence of characters. It should not be a number or a double or a float, whatever. It should be a string. So let us save this. Oh, capital letter. Let's save this and let's rerun our code. Guys, for you to use this string copy, you must have included the string library, which is what I did. I forgot, totally forgot. Okay, so do this up here if you are trying to use this, which you will use. Okay, include this string.h is a header file. Okay, include it and our program will run successfully. Let's save this again, then let's run it, then let's run the executable file. Now you can see that it printed this, and this. Now the aim of this is just for you to have your own kind of data type. Now for you to have a very clean, nice, efficient working code or application, using this struct, it gathers them together. This char name, int age, float age formed this person. If you are modeling this in a real life world, this person is going to have a name, right? Age, then it will have a color, it will have height, it will have tribe, it will have other things. Okay, now for you not to like make your code bulky like that, when you are trying to create something, maybe a car will have a name, model, color, the engine type, the engine model, the tire with the wheels, all those things. So you have to create something that will hold that entity, so that whenever you are trying to work on that object, all the attributes of that object will be available for you to work with it. Okay, it is very helpful when you are working on a similar object or something like that. Okay, so for example, if your program has to do with something like family, okay, now instead of you to start typing the name of the family, the father, mother, you just group them inside a struct of family. So this person which we change to family. Now inside of this family, you start declaring char name, that is name of the family, char age of each person, the family. Do you get? You just declare everything inside of this. So this family here, which you will change from person to family, is going to hold all of those attributes for a family. So with that attribute, you can actually use it to create more families. For example, if you have like 200 families, you can't just start typing 200 family just like this. Then inside of it, you will say family name, okay, family name, something like this. Then family age, something like family age, then other things, other attributes of the family that you want to use will be under this family, so that whenever you create family 1, you will use this same attributes. When you are creating family 2, you will still use this same attributes. Family 3, family 4, family 5 to 200, 1000, 1,000,000, you still use this same attribute. There's no need of you creating this 1,000,000 times for 1,000,000 families. No, just once. Okay, then you start making use of them. Like this person right now that I declared here, I can say person 1. There's possibility, there's nothing stopping me from saying person 2 or person 3 or person 4, so and so on and so forth. So there is nothing that is stopping me from using this struct to declare more than one family or one person. Okay, so you can see that this is we just declared this here once. Okay, we declared it here once, but we can use it in our program so many times. Now let me demonstrate this. Let me just give you one example, just one. Let me come back to person, then here I will go back to name, then I'll go back to age, then here let me just do family 1, family 2. Okay, let me put family 3 too, person 3. Let me do person 1, person 2, and person 3. Now let's just say this is for person 1, which is what it is. Okay, so person 1. So guys, I made some modifications on the code. So I was trying to prove to you, or I'm trying to prove to you, that the benefits or usefulness of having this struct data type. Now you can see we declared this struct of a person that has the combination of all these data type inside of one name. Now I was overemphasizing on the benefits in which it has in our code. Okay, so instead of us to keep on repeating codes all over again while trying to create more new person, we just declare the struct of person, then we now make use of its attributes, which are this char name, int age, and float salary, to create more of persons. Now I have created person 1, person 2 to person 3 using this person struct. Okay, now my person 1 name, age, and salary is this. Now person 2 age, name, and salary is this. Now person 3 age, name, and salary is this. Now you can see that there is no need of us declaring this 3 times. We just declared it once here, then reference what we declared here, like using it as our structure or backbone to create more persons or more person. Okay, so with this, our code, we limited ourselves from trying to write this or declare this like 3 times or 5 times or 10 times. Okay, depending on the need in your program. Okay, so down here we just did was to echo each and every one of it. You can see the person 1, you can see the person 2, you can see the person 3. So to limit ourselves from writing too much code, we made use of this structure that has already been generated for us to create more person or persons. Okay, so that is the work of this struct. Okay, thank you. Let's run. No, thank you. Let's run this code and see what it does. Let's save and exit. Then let's go to our GCC. Then let's run the executable. You can see the first person name is Chikelikena Gerald, and he's 32 years old, and his salary is 30,000 naira. Now, using this as a float, you can see generated this 6 digits. So let's go and eliminate it. Let's just put it, make it 2. We want it to be 2. We don't want that 6 things. That's 6 digits. Now let's go to our print statement. Then the first one is this. We put dot 2. Then the second one we add 2 there, and the third person, then we add 2. Let's save our code and exit. Let's rerun. Let's execute. Okay, you can see the first name is this, the second person is this, and the last person is this. So we have used one struct data type to create 3 different persons. Okay, so if you want to create more than 3 different persons, instead of you to start writing. So let me overemphasize on the need of us to use this struct in our code. One is that it reduces code complexity, like writing too much of codes. As I said earlier, that instead of creating 1,000 students, which means you have to type in this struct keyword 1,000 times, you just declare it just once, then make use of it. So it reduces complexity in your code. Now it also increases productivity. You can see now we eliminated a lot of things, okay, by just referencing to this one person, using it to generate more persons or more people. Okay, now it also allows us to maintain our code. Right now, if I want to change anything, I will just change maybe the size of the age, or whatever I want to do, or whatever I want to put inside. I'll just do it in one place. Okay, I don't need to go to the thousands of my codes and then start changing them. No, I'll just change them one place. And this being, if this is a dynamic application, all these things that I'm typing, all this copy, this person to from here to even this guy here, doesn't need to be there. Okay, the only thing that should be there is this up one here, from here to here. So it will assign a new value as our program runs. So it doesn't need this is just for static purpose. Okay, if our program is dynamic, it doesn't need this. Even this name that we imputed here is going to come dynamically. Okay, so we can create more people dynamically, so we don't need to write all this. Okay, during the course of our program, you will see that. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video if you got something from it. Okay, share. There's love in sharing.